Hey everybody, Marie from Marie's Custom Quilting here with part 7 of how to make a t-shirt quilt. So in the last class I went over some of the things you might run into as you're sewing your columns. Now I'm going to talk about sewing your columns together. So let me switch the camera around here. And here I have column 3 and column 4, and I've laid them out on my table. They're 90 inches long. My table's only about 60 inches long, so I've got some excess hanging off here. And I've put the two together. I know I have a little extra here at the top, and I need to trim that off. But what I'm going to do is I make sure my edges are together and I sew down the edges. So I'll be pinning this before I move it over to my machine to keep everything all together. My bottom is already matched up. These are all set to go. So all I need to do is pin this and take it over to my machine and I'll be good to go. Now I already put together columns 1 and 2. So here's column 1 and 2, and I've got it set up on my ironing board with the edge that I sewed all sewn. The pins are taken out. So the next thing I'll be doing is I'll be pressing this seam just like this, which I actually did last night. And then what I need to do is I need to open it up and take this seam and press it so that my edges go one way or the other, because right now it's kind of bumpy, and especially at intersections they're bumpy and it doesn't know which way it wants to go. And when I quilt it, I want a nice smooth quilt. So I'm going to see which way this seam wants to go for most of the length of the 90 inches. And from there, I'll decide which way I'm going to press it, and I'll press that seam one way or the other. The other thing I'll do is I'll make sure that I don't have any little threads sticking out on my seam here, because when you go to quilt it again, that's not fun to run into all of those. So when I'm doing my ironing, I like to pre-trim all the threads, and it looks like I did good on getting all the threads off. But there you go. There's column 1 or 2 sewn together. And then I'm going to sew column 3 and 4 together. And I'll finish column 5 and sew all the columns together. So those are my next steps. Bye.